Hi, my name is Fishman. I'm 41 years old. I'm the owner and executive pastry chef of Sweet Carmen Desserts, located in East Meadow, Long Island.
How would you describe your personality?
My personality, I'm creative, artistic, very funny, kind of a goof. You know, I can be overly sensitive, you know, a little pissy bitch every once in a while. But, you know, that's an artist.
How would your friends and toughest critics describe you?
My friends would definitely say that I am extremely animated, I'm passionate, I'm like a big cartoon character. So, you know, pretty much I have fun what I do. You know, my toughest critics, I've been told that I am my toughest critic, so, you know, I guess, you know, I'm a little judgmental of my own work. Very hardworking. Pretty much that's me.
What's your best and worst quality?
Well, my best quality is I'm extremely charitable. I do a lot of charity events. I give a lot to the community. You know, I have a very giving nature, but don't take that as the fact that I may be a pushover, which I'm not. But, you know, I'll help anybody out with a cause. My worst quality, characteristic, I have a tendency to comment on everything, sometimes positive, sometimes negative. Have a real bad lack of patience. And I'm an extreme procrastinator. Which this cake was supposed to be done 2 hours ago, but I'm doing it for you guys right now.
What types of people and things push your buttons?
Push my buttons? Know-it-alls. I can't stand people who think they know everything, okay? I know a lot, but I don't know everything. And I mentor a lot of students and I explain to them that, you know, if you think you know everything in this industry, go do something else. And pretty much last minute Louis. People think that I'm sitting around waiting for their cake order and they just walk in and don't understand that I'm a little too busy to take the cake order.
Tell us about your background and upbringing. How did that help or hurt the person you've become today?
Well, I was raised in a Jewish middle-class neighborhood in Long Island. My parents got divorced when I was around 10. My father really was not behind me. He thought this was kind of like a slavery business. So I never got the respect from him. So I felt it was my mission to prove to everybody that I am the next great baker.
Tell us how you're a true survivor. What have you survived?
What have I survived? A couple of near-death experiences. I'm actually a testicular cancer survivor. When I was 19 years old, I was stricken with testicular cancer. I had to go through extensive surgery and chemotherapy, and pretty much the only thing that got me through was my positive outlook on life. And, you know, your brain and your mind is an extremely powerful weapon. So I use my brain, I use my mind, I beat it. And maybe a stronger person now, you know. I relish every day, I wake up every day ready to go to work, have a good time. Don't let too much stuff get me down.
Tell me about the things in life you excel at. What do you struggle with?
I excel complaining. I guess, you know, my friends say that I'm a professional complainer. Nah, I'm only kidding. You know, pretty much I struggle with trying not to comment on everything. You know, unfortunately I'm like a Leo and tend to be like try to be like the center of attention. And I tend to answer and question everything around me.
How do you feel you react to criticism?
Why, you have something to say? Nah, depending upon who it comes from. You know, if it's coming from one of my peers, somebody that has the same skill set that I do, or has, you know, years of experience, I'm more willing to accept it than a newbie coming in and telling me, oh, chef, really, is that how it's supposed to be done? I don't really like to be questioned that often.
If you've watched any episodes of Next Great Baker, which cast members do you most relate to and why?
Watched any episodes? I watched them all. That's why I'm doing this again, because I was better than every other contestant in my mind. I feel that, you know, I have some of the characteristics of pretty much most of the cast. I would say that I definitely have Karina's mouth, Dana's seriousness and his, you know, exactness. Jay's was like the technician to me. I think that, you know, pretty much I got Jay's, you know, exactness and his perfectionism, and Megan, her passion.
How do you feel about not making the cast last season? After watching, do you think TLC made a mistake by not picking you?
Are you really asking me that question? I'm trying it out again. I was pissed. And I got more pissed as I watched the shows, and I kept doing it and seeing and going, are you kidding me? This person beat me. This person went on. You know what? What I saw was a lot of people came in there and they were cake decorators. You know what? It's not called the next great cake decorator. It's the next great baker. If so, maybe somebody else could have won it.
Do you feel your skills are better than the previous contestants?
I just answered that question.
Tell us about your food industry experience.
I've been in the industry pretty much for about almost 20 years. Every job I ever had to do with food. Really, it was a natural progression for me to do this. You know, I worked in restaurants, caterers, country clubs. I started out as a pizza delivery guy. Then I went into bagel baking, and then I went to catering companies, and they're like, oh, we need help in the pastry department. I really wasn't that good, but I met a guy, and he was a CIA grad, and told me, you know, why don't you go check out the CIA? So I went up to the CIA, checked it out, fell in love with the school, applied, got in, and, you know, pretty much going through school, I did what was needed, you know. But when we got to pastry, tell you the truth, I didn't really do that well. We poached fruit. I made applesauce twice. So when I ran into my instructor after graduation, you know, a couple of years into it, and I had my own business, and I handed him a business card, and he said, you're a pastry chef? Well, I made it my mission to find the best people and learn from the best people, and I continuously learn every single day, so I can get better and better and better and get on to the next level. So, you know, buddy, love to learn from you, man.
How long have you been baking and decorating?
Well, baking and decorating is pretty much only the last couple of years. I would probably say, well, baking has been about 20 years. But decorating like these fancy fondant cakes and stuff like that, probably I would say within the last 10 years.
Is there a specific genre of food, desserts that you like to bake or cook? What type of baking do you hate?
Well, I love it all. You know, I'm one of these guys where I don't mind getting up in the morning, going to work. You know, how many people can say they don't mind getting up on a Monday or Tuesday morning and going to work? I love what I do. It's edible arts and crafts all day long. You know, I really dig into like the cartoon and comic book style. I was a big, you know, comic book geek when I was a kid. So, you know, I get back to doing that every once in a while. So when someone comes in and they say, oh, you know, can you do a cake for Batman or Spider-Man or Superman? I run with it and have a great time. You know, customer came in, they wanted a Call of Duty Black Ops cake. I you know, relish those kinds of things. You know, we make regular wedding cakes and stuff like that here, but that's my forte. That's what I love doing. You know, I'm a true scratch baker. Nothing here comes from a mix, a box, a bag. Everything's made from scratch. So, you know, what kind of baking do I hate? People that take shortcuts.
Are you creative in the kitchen? How elaborate and creative are your designs when baking?
I would consider myself extremely creative. You know, there are people that are more creative. There are people less creative. You know, again, it comes back from my imagination, where, you know, I can visualize something. Everybody says about me that I have a little bit weird skew of reality. You know, I had to do self-portraits when we were in high school, and they all looked a little different, but they were supposed to be the same. Well, I see many different views of me, so, you know, again, it goes back to that comic book thing, and it's the approach that I take to my cakes and desserts.
Since the last time you applied, has anything changed regarding your baking and decorating skills?
I've just gotten way better.
Tell us any interesting details about yourself or anything that makes you stand out.
Well, you know, I've won a lot of awards and stuff like that. You know, first place for pastry, first place for cakes. You know, I do a lot of charity events. I mentor a lot of culinary school students. So, you know, pretty much, enough said.